Now this is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan.
That boy is Benny Hunter.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Before I go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I just want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by BUSR. So, Bears fans, the NFL season is officially upon us, and this season, I'll be placing my bets with BUSR. When you sign up with BUSR, you'll receive 100% plus 25 casino chip sign-up bonus. So Bears fans, along with that amazing benefit, any new user that uses the link that I will put down in the description of this video will receive a bonus that matches their deposit up to $1,000. That basically means that you'll be able to bet on Bears football all day long, and you already know that I'm going to do the exact same thing. Lastly, the best part about BUSR is that they have many additional features that include prop bets and prop builders, cryptocurrency rewards, over 300 casino games, and much, much more. So Bears fans, hit the link in the description of this video and start betting with BUSR today. All right, Bears fans, not the outcome that any of us were looking for as the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, yes, once again, beat the Chicago Bears 27-10 on Sunday Night Football. And I have a lot to say about this game. And obviously, this was a tough one to swallow. And I know this is Aaron Rodgers' 7th time in a row beating us. I know he has been so dominant against the Chicago Bears. And of course, Aaron Rodgers still had a decent game. I think he had 234 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. But the real big storyline was the Chicago Bears' inability to stop Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones had 15 carries for 132 yards and a touchdown. He averaged 8.8 yards per carry. When we're talking about running backs, David Montgomery had a really good day. 15 carries for 122 yards, 8.1 yards per carry. And obviously, they got away from David Montgomery. The Chicago Bears came out in the first drive. David Montgomery was dominant in that very first drive. The Bears took an early 7-3 lead over the Green Bay Packers. But after that, the offense just went mute, which we are used to as Chicago Bears fans, but it gets a little bit tiring. Obviously, this offense, like I said, there's going to be growing pains. It's going to be a work in progress for the Chicago Bears offense to get going. But it gets really frustrating. Whoever's calling the offense in this instance, it is Luke Getsy. Why did we go away from David Montgomery? Like I said, in the first drive, David Montgomery absolutely torched the Green Bay Packer defense, and that was one of the reasons why we took the early 7-3 lead over the Green Bay Packers. But then he only got 1 carry for the rest of the first half. So obviously the Bears took an early 7-3 lead in this game, and then the Green Bay Packers in the second quarter scored 21 points to the Chicago Bears 0 to take a commanding 24-7 lead going into halftime. So once again, the Bears got down early, and then we had to keep clawing from behind, right? Obviously, last week against the San Francisco 49ers, we were down, I believe, 7-10-0 at halftime, and we had to claw back. This is the same instance. Obviously, you do not want to be in that type of situation as a football team. So Matt Eberflus and this coaching staff and this Chicago Bears offense has to get it figured out. We have to get this thing cleaned up. Another thing I want to say about the Chicago Bears offense going mute is the fact that we're unable to get Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney involved. Obviously, Cole Kmet had 1 target. He dropped the ball. And then Darnell Mooney, I believe, had 1 catch for -4 yards. So Darnell Mooney in 2 games has 2 catches for 4 yards. We need to get him more involved in any way that we can. Quick screens, slants, reverses, whatever we need to do to get our number 1 wide receiver involved and more into the offense. They need to figure out a new game plan, right? So obviously this one is a tough one to swallow, right? And obviously the defense had a tough day, right? Defense had a tough day. Like I said, Aaron Jones was running wild. Once again, Aaron Jones had 15 carries for 132 yards. there was no stopping Aaron Jones today. And I kind of had a feeling that was going to be the Packers' game plan going into this game, is a heavy dose of Aaron Jones. And I'm not sure if Allen Williams and Eberflus weren't making adjustments, but it just wasn't working all day. And the Green Bay Packers running game absolutely gassed the Chicago Bears defense. And this defense, quite frankly, got exposed. It was a lot of poor tackling, a lot of players getting burnt. And I hate to call out certain players, but Kyler Gordon had a atrocious day for the Chicago Bears secondary. He seems like he's flat-footed. His instincts are off. The rookie cornerback, Kyler Gordon out of Washington, had a very tough day. I believe he gave up 8 catches for over 100 yards and a touchdown. So it was a tough day for Kyler Gordon. But once again, I know he's a rookie. It's going to be learning curves. I understand the Bears are a building team. But this one hurts because I felt like the tide was going to change. I felt like this was a good time to play the Green Bay Packers. But like always, kudos to the Green Bay Packers. And I know it hurts. I get it. But I do feel that hopefully more good times come from this, and I think we can learn from this game at the same time. Obviously, the Green Bay Packers put up 24 points in the first half, and then the Chicago Bears defense only gave up 3 points in the second half. So you got to take the positives from this game. We're a young team, so take the positives from this game and get the corrections going, right? And obviously, this offense needs to figure it out. And like I said, the defense has been carrying us for years, right? It's now time for the offense to get things figured out. Obviously, when you look at Justin Fields' stats, once again, another quiet day, 7 for 11, 70 yards, and an interception at the end of the game. So, obviously, we are not getting the ball to our playmakers. Cole Kmet, we need to get him involved. We need to get Darnell Mooney involved. We need to get the players that we do have on this team involved, because going 7 for 11 for 70 yards is not going to cut it. So, like I said, you got to take the positives for this game, and I know it hurts. I'm frustrated. It's tough to watch, especially on prime time. You think that we're actually going to go in there and maybe have a fighting chance, and we just can't get it done. You got to be able to execute against the all-time great quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, and unfortunately, the Chicago Bears did not get it done today. So you learn from this as a young team, and you move forward. The good news for the Chicago Bears is that the next 2 games we play the Houston Texans at home, and then we travel to the New York Giants. Yes, the Giants are 2-0. Yes, the Houston Texans are playing inspired football right now, right? These are still, you don't want to look past these opponents, but these are 2 winnable games for the Chicago Bears. So let's go in there, correct the mistakes we need to work on, and try to go in these next 2 games and get 2 wins to hopefully be 3-1 in a couple of weeks, right? And that will be huge for the confidence of this football team. And like I said, you got to be able to execute against Green Bay Packers. We didn't get it done tonight, and it is what it is. We move on, and as fans, we continue to support our Chicago Bears. So, like I said, the Chicago Bears dropped to the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football 27-10 to drop their record to an even 1-1. But before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for all new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
Riding with country bear. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.